always a party at Patchworks. Let's get this party started. Woot, woot. Hi, everyone. This is Julie from Patchworks, and I'm so excited that you're joining us for our debut program in 2022. Yes, I said that right, 2022. I can't believe it. So thank you so much for joining us and for your patience. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty last week, and so I'm so happy that you're tuning in today. If this is the first time that you're joining us, we go live, or do our best to go live, every Thursday so that we can share with you our different content for our different programs that we have. Our classroom continues to be closed, but we are presenting our club content online for all of you. So you don't have to be a member to watch our little shows. You can ask questions along the way. We have Tammy at the keyboards, and Frank right now is behind the cameras, and we're more than happy to answer your questions that you might have, even be able to pull in different content to be able to share with you live. That's one of the great things of being able to come at you live and on scene when you never know what's going to happen. So last week what we were going to do is we were going to showcase all the different things that we have going on. So we're going to do just a little bit of that today, and then we're going to scoop into our first program of the year, which is our brand new FreeSpirit Club. Sound good? So I encourage you to chat along in the comments below. Feel free to talk to your friends. Feel free to ask us questions. If you like something or love something, please let us know. And if you want to share this with others, well, of course, go ahead and share it. For any comments, likes, and shares, we will be doing a drawing on Saturday morning and giving away some great fabric little prizes. So we always encourage audience participation. All right, so what do we have going on this year? I had sent out an email to our email subscribers. If you didn't get it, you can subscribe to our emails on our website. So that's www.patchworks.com, and towards the bottom there's a place that you can subscribe to our newsletters, and now that's all hooked up to our email program. It hadn't been for a while, but it's all working now. I love technology, and we are sharing on here the different programs that we have. So the first program that we have is our Moto University, which we've done our entire time as owners here at Patchworks. And what we do is that we share all the new fabric from that particular manufacturer every single month. Club members receive their choice of beautiful fabric packs. If you come into the store, you see our whole selection of fabrics that we always have in those cute little packs. Well, this is what it's about. We show you some projects and give you inspiration to do that. The cool thing about our manufacturer clubs is that we offer great discounts on our products. So for our Moto University Club, we offer 20% off of Moto fabrics. That's every single Moto fabric we have in the store every single day, whether you're buying it in store or online. What? Yeah, that's super cool. So you get your fabric packs, you get project inspirations, and you get a generous discount. That program has been so popular that we thought this year we would start something that we're calling the FreeSpirit Club. So we love Tula, which we did a beautiful Tula program last year, but this year what we thought we would do is that we would include multiple different designers. So let's just take a peek down overhead at what we have. So this particular month we have 3 different amazing fabric lines to share with you, or collections. It's not necessarily lines. So we have put together a Tula pink line here that has a combination of her Daydreamer line, a little bit of homemade here, some true colors, beautiful, beautiful fabrics that we've put together here. We have a Cave Collective offering. My favorite, I shouldn't tell you this, but my favorite colorway of his is the Scarlet red with the great oranges here. And so this is our CAFE offering for this month. And then we have a third offering, and this is a curated collection of Tim Holtz that I put together, and it has a very different look than a lot of the other things that you've seen me present. And you can see here that ephemera look of some great prints here, and then his worn croc. I love, love, love this collection here. And so we put together a very subdued neutral collection. So this is a taste of what it is. So for the Free Spirit Club, you will get to choose one of the packs that I'm showing you. You'll get project inspiration, and then you'll get 20% off of Free Spirit fabrics in store and online every single day for the club year. That is so exciting. Now, we have, and we can look here how in our sample here of our Tula pack, we have a fat eighth pack and we have a fat quarter pack. We have chosen to go with 12 fabrics for our clubs this year. Why 12? Well, we love 12 because it's what we call a fat stack, or what we're calling now our fat eighth pack of 12, a skinny stack. Huh? And we like to make 12-pack quilts in the store. So this is one of my favorite books, right? Why is it one of my favorite books? Because on page 8, you get to sew with me. So we like to do a lot of fun stuff with the 12 packs. And I thought, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and put our club packs to 12 so that we can do stuff with them. So these are little quilt bundles, starter bundles. You might have to add a background or borders with it, but you really could make a quilt every single month with the project if you're starting with a fat quarter pack, or like I'll show you tonight, you'll be able to get away with having your 12 fat eighths to make a beautiful quilt if you add some backgrounds and borders. Okay, does that make sense? Any questions on that?
No.
Okay. Is everybody excited? I'm on page 8 of the book. So is that new information? Oh my goodness, I love, love, love it. So we are going to be featuring original content, content from that book, content from other patterns along the way to be able to share with you for our project inspiration. But we just found that that 12 fat quarters or fat eighths was a much more usable number, and we decided to go with that this year. So our Free Spirit Club will typically meet on, or will show on the first Thursday of the month. So we're the second Thursday of the month right now, but we'll typically show it on the first Thursday of the month. The other club that we have is our Aurifil Color Builders Club, which is the last Thursday of the month. We'll be talking about that a little bit later, but I just wanted you to know if you are interested in the threads and the color builders, and if you're on social media, you've seen a ton about those. We are continuing this year as the third year of presenting the Thread Club, and we're super excited for that. We have a couple blocks of the month that we'll be sharing. So for our monthly programming, we'll be sharing a little bit in the Toes in the Sand in our program here, our Free Spirit Club, but the second Thursday of the month is typically going to be dedicated to month. So the ones that we have already committed to, let me just grab my binders here. The gorgeous Toes in the Sand, which Julie Herman of Jaybird Quilts has just kicked that off. It's the 10th anniversary of this pattern, and we have the book in stock. This is a lap size, and she has bonus directions in this version for a queen size quilt. We are offering kits for this, and the kit is $199.99, and that includes the pattern. The fabric that will be included is enough to make the smaller size. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but that is the Toes in the Sand. The next block of the month that we'll be starting to talk about next month is the block Bonanza. And this is more traditional. This is 6-inch finished blocks in a pieced sampler, okay? So a little bit more traditional here. We'll be talking about that. Can you see that here? A little bit better? Okay. And we'll be sharing that with you, but this is what we're talking about. This particular pattern is really well suited for fabric scraps, but we also would be more than happy to help you shop for beautiful fabrics for that. We have one more sampler pattern that we're waiting on, and Frank's going to share a picture of that, and that is the butterfly quilt, which is a Tula Pink pattern, and that pattern is on its way. We did get our invoice today from Brewer, yay! And we're super excited to have that. We will be introducing that after we get the books, so don't worry, we aren't going to start it super soon because we know we have so much going on, but we are getting that pattern and we're super excited to be able to participate in that as well. And then just with other quilt alongs, one that we're not going to be quilting along with, but for those of you that really, really love the Julie Herman things, we have seen and heard that Julie's going to be starting a new block of the week, and that is the Night Sky Quilt, and we will have patterns available. So she has Night Sky Sew Along that's going to be starting in February. Let us know if you need a pattern. Okay, so that was a lot of information that I just threw at you. So that's pretty much our little introduction of what we are going to be doing in 2022. I always like to throw in these programs towards the end, all the new fabrics that we've gotten in, showing different techniques and answer questions that you might have. So let us get started with this month's program, and that is our Free Spirit Club. So I think we should woot again. What do you think? All right, let's woot again. So it's always a party at Patchworks. Let's get this party started. Woot, woot. We are here for the first Free Spirit Club here at Patchworks. So we kind of put this together all by ourselves based on some other stuff that we've done at the store in other formats. And we are excited to share with you different fabric offerings and different projects and techniques. We have 3 different offerings of fabric, and we're just going to quick look at them again. So all of our club members are going to have the opportunity to pick if they would like to choose from Tula Pink, K Facet, or Tim Holtz this month. If you are not a member and would want to purchase one of these packs, we'd be more than happy to set one aside for you after our club members have picked up their materials. We do have plenty of spaces still open in our club if you were watching us today and trying to figure out if you wanted to hop in too. Keep in mind you have the option of joining at the Fat Eighth or Fat Quarter level. I don't have pricing on our website, but if you were interested in larger bundles, let's say a half yard or a yard bundle, or even a bolt of each of the 12 fabrics that I have selected, I'd be more than happy to accommodate that for you. As you are seeing here, I have taken liberty of putting together fabrics that I like together. So it's not necessarily only a specific fabric line. They are curated here. So these are bundles exclusive to us, and we hope that you like what we've put together here. The project that we're going to share with you today, I have the quilt behind me, and you can see here that it is a very simple pieced quilt here Frank has a picture of the whole quilt, since you can't see the whole thing that's behind me. You can see that this is a very nice design that we've put an inner border and an outer border on. We have used a fat eighth pack, added to it 1 3/4 yards of background, 1 1/4 yards for our inner border and our binding, and then 1.5 yards for our large scale border. We use 3 2/3 yards for our backing.
What size is that quilt?
That size of that quilt is 58 by 70. It is a 7 by 9 set. And if you had wanted to make it bigger and you had a fat quarter bundle, you could go ahead and get a 72 by 88 inch quilt. Very easy and scalable to make larger. We have a question. First question of the night.
Do they have the flexibility to upgrade to a larger pack of fabric, say from fat eighths to fat quarters?
All right, so the question is, if you are a club member, do you have the option to upgrade from a fat eighth to a fat quarter? And the answer is, this year, yes, you do. And the reason is that this sizing of the 12s is something that we have on the shelf all of the time, so it's easier for us to be able to do that. So yes, the answer this year is yes, you are able to upgrade. And then your next question, I just know it, is, well, what if you love all three? Can you buy all three? And the answer is yes, you can. So we're more than happy to accommodate hooking you up with different packs. And then your third question that you're going to say is, Julie, I love all of these packs, but I'm really afraid maybe in a future month there might be a fabric that I don't particularly like. And my answer to you is, as we build up our offerings, I will offer you the ability to go into our buffet of previous offerings that we have left to be able to choose your favorite. Okay? So I want to make sure that everyone is super happy with their fabrics for their club choices. And let's just say that you wanted to put on hold and wait till next month. I would also let you do that. Okay? So have I hit all of the fabric selection questions? Oh, there's one more fabric selection question that I know you might have, and that is, Julie, I like to come and pick up my subscription, and I am not able to come in all of the time. I want to make sure I get the fabric that I like, and so how do I make sure that I get the fabric that I like, even though I know I can't be there for another 4 weeks? And I would say you just want to let us know what fabric you want right away so that we can set it aside for you, so that we can make sure you're happy with that fabric selection. Okay, so that is, and so feel free to keep on asking questions. That is the benefit of us having a live show, that I'm able to answer live whatever questions that you might have. If you happen to watch it after and you wanted to type us a question, we do our best to follow up with that. And Tammy has another question, I think.
So a couple people are wondering where to get the pattern for the fabulous quilt behind me.
Where do you get the pattern for the fabulous quilt behind me? Excellent question. So we're going to talk about the project, and then what we are going to do is I'm going to share with you that it is a club member exclusive. So for simply the cost of this month's membership, you get this pattern, which does have not only this size, but also dimensions to make it larger for your fat quarter pack. Ah, how exciting is that? So do you want to know how to make the project? Yeah, I want to know how to make the project. All right. Let me do a little reset here. I'm going to get out my, so the magic. I have here just 2 fabrics because I just wanted to show you the basic block, okay? So we're not going to do any sewing, but we are going to do some cutting. And I chose a solid, okay, because in case if you don't particularly want to make this out of Tula fabric. And then I chose a background, okay? So on this particular quilt, we used the beautiful, beautiful fairy dust. This is one of my very, very favorite Tula backgrounds here. And I remember when it was introduced back in Pinkerville, I believe, and I was talking to Tula when I first had ordered the fabric, and she said, Julie, I love this fabric. She's like, make sure you order a lot of it. And so for that very first time, before they decided to make it a basic, we ordered like a bazillion bolts of it. And Frank's like, what? What are you doing? And I said, don't worry. Tula said it was her favorite. And you know what? I bet you if we looked at it, our most popular fabrics of what we sell black and white as our most popular fabrics, but this one right here, this is right up there after those two. So you're going to want to have that. All right, but let's talk about this particular block. So you have two different blocks. You have a dot block and a plus block. Can you see that? Okay, the dot block and the plus block. That's what we're going to talk about. So this particular size, we are making 32 dot blocks and 31 plus blocks for this size. This is 2.5-inch strip friendly. We are cutting this from pieces, okay? So I started with a fat quarter, but if you are going to be working with your fat 1/8 pack, what you're going to do is you are going to cut 3 strips. So for this fat quarter, Frank, I'm going to have us flip to the overhead. Okay, so if you notice here, when I cut, and this is just one of our work mats here, so it says PW, Patchworks. Okay, I often fold my fabric in half, okay? So when I do my cutting, just so I have the least amount of fabric under the least amount of acrylic, I'm going to make a straight cut here, okay? There's a fancy way for you to do it on this side. I just like to do it on this side. Okay, I lined up on the bottom and on the side. Now I'm going to rotate my mat. Always want to cut away from you, right? And we are going to cut 2.5-inch strips. I need 3 2.5-inch strips from each of my fat 1/8 that I'm going to work with. Or in this case, since I have a larger piece, I'm still going to cut 3 2.5-inch strip pieces. Now, if you want to cut this, you can use a shape cut if you prefer, or run it through a die if you like to use those, or use your regular straight cut ruler. I'm cutting my 2.5-inch piece here, and for my second and third, I'm going to show you a quick trick. I am going to cut a 5-inch strip and come back and cut my 2.5. If you have a lot of fabrics and you are a confident cutter, I do encourage you to stack them to get the most efficient cutting. So we're going to start with 3 of these, and then we are going to cut just a couple of background pieces, okay? Line this up here on my perpendicular, and then make my straight cut, and then we'll rotate this around, and let's cut a few here. So I'm going to do my 5-inch cut first so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I lined it up at the 5, and then my folded edge, I use this little straight line here to keep aligned. I'm going to go back to the 2.5. The ruler that I'm using here is the Big Daddy ruler. I also have in our series the Big Mama, the Rotary Mate, and the Rotary Rule. We're going to cut for our dot block first. And for that one, we are going to, for this one, I will cut from this side. going to do a straight cut here. I need 2.5 by 6.5, and this block or this ruler just happens to be 6.5, so I can just cut the width of the ruler. And then I need 2.5 inch. Okay, I had it folded in half, so there we go. And then from this guy here, for my dot block, I only need 1 2.5 inch. Okay, so I'm just going to make my little straight cut here, chop that off. It probably would be better to have a little shorter ruler here, but just for what I have handy, that's what I'm using. Okay, so we are going to put that block together by sewing these 3 units together and that together. Da-da-da. Look at that. Ends up with a nice 6-inch finished. Super cool. For our plus block, we are going to cut 4 2.5 inch squares. I'm going to cut a 5 inch, come back and cut a 2.5 inch. Dun, dun, dun. I have my 4 squares just like that. I was talking with somebody today and they were saying how cutting was not their favorite part of quilt making. And that made me super sad because I love cutting. It's super fun. All right, we are going to cut off our selvage here. And then we're going to use our ruler to get our 6.5 inch piece. I actually only needed 1, but I had it folded, so I thought I'd go for it. And then I need 2, 2.5 for my plus. Okay, so for our plus sign, goes together like that. Okay, so you are going to need 31 pluses and 32 dot blocks. Let's take a peek back at the quilt behind me, Frank. All right, so you can see here as you assemble them that you alternate the blocks. So by doing dot plus dot plus dot plus dot and then alternating here, right, you get this really cool design that comes out of it. You can use plain background or you can use some really fun colorful print. And if you happen to have fabrics, you can't see this particularly up close, but we used a little jaguar print here, which is directional. And so when we made our sample, we actually chose to fussy cut that strip. You wouldn't have to, but keep in mind you can always take liberty and fussy cut something if you wanted something to be facing a certain way. Okay? After we put these together, you want to go ahead and put a 2.5 inch border around it and then finish it up. We chose a 6.5 inch border so that we could feature a beautiful print. Why 6.5? Well, I think it's a great size for that particular quilt, and it's super easy to cut when it is the width of your ruler. You can choose to either piece it on the straight or piece it on the diagonal, however you see fit. I think we went ahead on this one and pieced it on the straight because Heidi thought that the butterflies would piece together a little bit more, it would be camouflaged a little bit more. Sometimes when you're using a tonal, you do it on the diagonal so that the eye doesn't see it there. But no matter how you do it, you want to make sure that you don't align your seam for your inner border and your seam for your outer border at the same spot, okay? Because that's a pro tip to make sure that people see that, or it seems to be one piece of fabric rather than it being pieced. We used a beautiful wide back for the back, or wide back here, a beautiful Tula wide back. We have a great selection of them. And then Angie from Big Bear Quilting, she used her design Modern Eclectic as the quilting pattern to quilt this. It went together super, super nice. And you can see that the quilt finishes 58 by 70. If you choose to start with 12 fat quarters, you would easily be able to make a larger version that would be 72 by 88. And you could make it, I'm sure, a titch larger as well. But 72 by 88 is a really nice next size up quilt. So lots and lots and lots of things that you can do when you start with a 12 pack. Any questions on that project?
I don't have any questions.
No questions. All right. So club members, you will get complete written instructions for that. And if you love, love, love what you saw, you can absolutely go ahead and join the club so that you can get great projects just like this. We are going to skip into, I'm going to set this aside here. We're going to skip into something else that a lot of you are excited about, and that is the Toes in the Sand, which there are several of you that have signed up for kits along the way, and we have all of our materials together. We do have, or we will have openings for more blocks of the month. We are waiting on more Dewdrop. So if you were wanting to hop in and get a kit for this, it will be about a week or so before we'd be able to hook you up with block 1, just so that you know. But this is a very fun thing. So the quilt requires the pattern. The hex and more ruler is not required but highly recommended. And then let's take a peek at the fabrics for this month. So Frank, let's look overhead. So the insides of the quilt take 51 fat eighths and extra yardage to make the other pieces. Now with last year's club, we had made our monthly fabric selections based on club inspiration. This particular year, we're choosing an independent option for our Free Spirit Club fabric options from what the Toes in the Sand is. This month they did overlap because, well, Tula goes with Tula. So I just didn't want to confuse you and wanted to offer clarification because I know some of you have asked, are Toes in the Sand and Free Spirit Club one and the same? We have, I wanted to share with you, Julie Herman has done a fantastic job and she's created a new Facebook group. So Frank, can we look at what that looks like? So there's a Toes in the Sand. She has her new Quilt Along Facebook group where she's going to talk about all things quilt alongs. And this is what it looks like. And Tammy is including a link to that Facebook group there. She has and will be presenting a tutorial every single month for making that particular block. And the blocks that she's making this month are right here. So you can see that Baker Beach, she uses the 2 blues and the 2 oranges to make the first blocks. If you are making the original size, you are going to be making 1 in each color. And if you are going to be making the queen size, you are going to be making 2 of each block. We do have the month 1 available for pickup in store, and we will have all future Toes in the Sand blocks available by the 1st of the month. So thank you so much for your patience for those of you that have purchased the block of the month and we're looking to get started on that. We have a lot of you who have been working on various different Tula and Jaybird blocks of the month, and I wanted to share with you the wide backs that we have in store, in stock right now that can help you finish your Tula quilts. So first off, we have the new, and that is the Daydreamer wide backs. And we have them in 3 different colors. And all of Tula's wide backs here are the really soft, satiny fabrics. Really nice. So we have these 3. We do have the Sketchier from Linework in stock. And we have the 2 Curiouser beautiful wide backs. So we have all of this in stock, both in store and online. Hopping over to other FreeSpirit wide backs that are in stock, we have 3 Cape in stock right now. We have the onion rings, the beautiful Millefleur, and the lotus leaf. We have more on back order here, and we are also awaiting some amazing Tim Holtz wide backs. On product information notes, we did receive word from FreeSpirit today that some upcoming collections are going to be impacted by some delivery delays. So there had been the February CAFE release, and that has been postponed to April. And the Tula Tiny Beasts and New True Colors will be pushed back and will be starting, is right now currently slated to expect starting shipping mid-May. So let's just say June. I will keep you updated with all of those. We do have pre-orders available for the Tiny Beasts and Tiny True Colors. I have not yet added the Deja Vu Parisville collection to our website yet. If you had wanted to, we would take pre-orders for that as well. It is currently slated for August. I'm not quite sure when it will actually come to fruition, but be assured that we have every upcoming for 2022 Tula collection on order. And I am pleased to announce that we just got a restock of True Colors and Solids and Linework. So we are currently awaiting only one of the line work, and that is the Read Between the Lines. That's one with the zebra. And we're waiting on more Dewdrop from the Solid. And then I think we have all of the True Colors, including Palms and Stripes, in stock. So that's super exciting. We do a really great Frank does a really great job making sure that we keep those in stock, and we have a nice selection of Curiouser, Daydreamer, and even some homemade still in stock. The homemade's getting hard to find, so if you're looking for some of that, you probably want to act sooner than later. We have another question.
So Judy is wondering if it's possible to get the pattern for the quilt without being a member of the club.
Oh, so the question for this pattern here. So it was intended to be a club special. So it is currently being offered as a club special. So I did share with you information if you want to reverse engineer it. However, the pattern itself is available with club membership. You could even just join for a month to get that. So I guess it's free with the purchase of a fabric pack.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Any other questions?
I don't have any other questions.
Okay.
I'm adding links for the case that's involved in the
Okay. And so Tammy's just putting on some links for some of the Cafe Tula and Tim Holtz fabric that we have in stock. We got in some really fun fabric that is none of these three designers, but is Free Spirit, and I just have to share it with you because it's really, really cool and really, really different and unique. It just came in this week. It is from Adrian Lieben, and look at this, it's so funky. So let's look overhead because I think that is just, I mean, look at this. It looks like it is a quilting design, doesn't it? Or doodling, or it's just really cool. What is it? Zentangle? That it's just really, really cool. And so I was mesmerized by it, and I thought it would be really fun to cut up into a quilt. It would be fun as a quilt back. It'd be great as a binding. It would just be really fun to use as a panel. You could combine some solids and tonals. It's just so cool. So we have this style. We got 4 prints. This one here. This one is a selvage to selvage repeat. Okay, so we're going to look here, then I'll open it up. But look at this. Oh, this is so pretty. Okay, so it looks cool here, but let me open it up. Selvage to selvage. Oh, so you're going all the way from the violets through to the indigos, and it's so spectacular. An interesting thing to do with your quilt backs, if you have an interesting piece of fabric like this, would be to take a piece of fabric that has a lot of interest and then pair it with 2 pieces on either side to extend it. Did you have a question, Tammy?
No.
Oh, Carol is buying the bolts, so you better beat her to the bolts.
Oh, I do have a question. Is it shiny?
It is not shiny. There is no opalescent, no metallic on this. This is completely flat. And I can see on the screen that I have in front of me, there might be a little bit of a glare, like it looks like maybe there's a little yellow here. There is no yellow in it. So, you know, we do our best with our lighting here, but this isn't a major network. So, look at this. Oh, this black and white. It's so yummy. Okay. All of these fabrics are $12.99 a yard, and on the website you can buy them by the full yard or by the quarter of the yard. And the fabric that we sell on the website is by the straight quarter of the yard. And this one I think is the most interesting. So for members, you do save 20% off every single day. So exciting. Okay. Look at this. So spectacular. Just all of this going on. Okay.
Can you tell them the designer's name again?
The designer is Adrian Lieben. And this is BioGeo 2. We did not get BioGeo 1. This is our first Adrian Lieben to have in the store. And this particular one is called Mardi Gras. This pattern is called Bio Entanglement. This pattern is Rainbow Bio. And this one is Daffy Taffy. Super cool. So brand new, going out on the floor tonight. And I also want to share with you, since I know we have a lot of new viewers today, I wanted to share that we have the Calendar Girls line, which is super. So I'm going to give these to Tammy. There we go. So don't type too fast because Tammy's not there. So this particular Calendar Girls is there's a lot of panels with this particular one. And we have the large scale panels, which are both 24 by 44. There is a summer and a spring summer and a fall winter. Okay, and I'm just gonna, I believe the fabric that I just showed you, I believe is a screen print. I believe. So this has super cute motifs. You can see the size here, and it is a 12-inch square-ish, right? Just shy of a 12-inch square. Really nice room to cut it, to piece it into something. Lisa wants to have all of their outfits. She just loves how they're dressed. See, oh, super cool. And so we have this one, and then we have the other 6 on a different panel. On a smaller scale, you have the exact same patterns. Okay, so this is a smaller, and let me guess, it is a 7-inch, which could finish to a 6, which is really a nice size for a lot of the different quilt designs that you might have access to. Also, because you have some extra squares available, they put in 3 blending fabrics. And then we have bolted fabrics. So this one I love because it has the same ladies doing the same things as in the bigger squares, just miniature. So you have your large, your medium, and these are your itty bitties, okay? And then we have some great go-withs. And because 'tis the season, we are needing to bundle up as it's going to be getting colder this weekend. We have some hats and mittens and scarves. So, sure, I will lift this up so that you can see it. Okay, look at that. It's so pretty. So these are $12.99 a yard, regular priced as well. And of course, club members will have access to membership pricing on these as well. One of the things that I like to do in these programs is share things with you that you have done as well. And so I am going to share with you some of your show and tell right now. So what did you think? How did you like our little show and tell movie? So we hope that you like that. And we also are going to be able to include a lot more in a really nice amount of time with all of you using that format. So keep sharing with us your great work. We've invited you to join our Patchworks Party, which is our Facebook group. If you are not following us on Facebook and you prefer to follow along on YouTube, feel free to email us at julie@patchworks.com, your show and tell, and we will do our best to include it in the next show and tell segment. Every week, we like to do a fun drawing from those of you who have submitted show and tell. So we have names in the basket from the different pieces that we've shared with you. And today you are going to be getting a really nice remnant from the back of the quilt that we just made. So it'll be really nice for a table runner or a small wall hanging, or you can cut up and do something else with it. So who is that person going to be? And Deb W., congratulations. You have won the piece of fabric. Yay! So always fun times to be able to participate and share with your Patchworks friends. Before we go tonight, I do want to open up and ask if there are any questions on what you've seen tonight.
Oh, is Moto next week? What's that?
Next week, very good question. We are going to be kicking off our Moto University. We have a great quilt, table runner, and pillow ready to go for you, and that is a 12-pack pattern as well. So even if you are only interested in one or the other club, or just want some inspiration, make sure to tune in, because what we're showing you for the different projects will be interchangeable. So that's super exciting. Any other questions? I would like to thank you for tuning in tonight and for being patient with us for last week. We hope to see you soon. We are continuing our holiday clearance event as we move everything around. So you might want to hop in sooner than later to check that out, because we have some spectacular deals on those.
Do you have additional information for the butterfly quilt?
I have one final question before we go, and that is, do I have additional information on the butterfly quilt? So the butterfly quilt pattern is $27.99. If you had wanted, we will offer a kit for that, which would then be early February, and that would be $199.99. We are looking to sew it. However, as we don't even have the pattern yet, I can't commit to when we might sew it. So any of these quilts that you're seeing, you can absolutely buy a pattern and use fabric that you have for any of these fun projects. And yes, we've been waiting on that butterfly pattern. It's been on order for some time, and the distributor has had a little bit of some challenges getting things out. And so we are super excited that we did get the invoice for that sampler. For the initial order that's coming in, half of it has already been pre-sold. So I do know that we have it for sale on our website. And if you had wanted to be on that first bunch, we have a few left for sale. Any other questions?
No.
All right. So if you're watching late or going to be tuning in at some point, or you have already watched it and you think of something later, feel free to ask us a question on this particular thread. We monitor it for about 48 hours, and otherwise you can send us a message either through the Facebook message, or you can send us an email at julie@patchworks.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next week. We will be doing a drawing for our participation challenge winners for just little fun door prizes just for showing up, and we'll be doing that on Saturday. Happy quilting. See you soon.